Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh, Bashem Shah, Bashem Kakodah, Shalom to the 144,000, the rest of you left out there, Shalom to you all. And I'm going to entitle this video, I did a word search on Babylon, or the word Babylon. Show you that there's a difference. When you come across the word Babylon, depending on the scripture, it could be talking about ancient Babylon, or the Neo-Babylonian Empire, or the daughter of Babylon. And as I said before, and I'm continue to say, Christians don't understand the prophetic part of the Bible. That should be like a ongoing series. Christians don't know the prophetic part of the scriptures or the Bible, and that's just a fact. So the very first scripture, 2 Kings 17:24. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon and from Cutha and from Ava and from Hamath and from Sepharvaim and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel, which was Ephraim was the main tribe, and they possessed Samaria and dwelt in the cities thereof. And placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel, instead of Ephraim. Now, when you go to Matthew in the New Testament, of course, Matthew 10:5 and 6, the Messiah and the Great Commission is in the 10th chapter, not the 28th chapter. And the reason why they say Matthew 28 and 29 is the 28 and 19 is the commission, because it says go to all. See, the Great Commission is he wants you to go to all the nations. Well, if that was the case, why would they have a problem with Peter accepting Cornelius in Acts 10 and Acts 11? It would have been established. Oh, now you can go to the nations. It's obvious that in Matthew 28 and 19, the nations are talking about Israelites scattered throughout the nations. So it says, go not into the way of the Gentiles, neither into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So why did he say Gentiles and then he said Samaria? Because you had these people, Cutha, and from Ava, and from Hamath, and from Sepharvaim. These were heathens. Because when they came into the land, matter of fact, let me open this up. They were chased, they were killed by lions, killed them. Was it a lion or the lions? It says, 25th verse, and so it was at the beginning of their dwelling there that they, the heathen, those heathens, the neighboring areas, feared not Yahweh. How do you fear Yahweh? Through the laws. Therefore Yahweh sent lions among them, because the Most High has power over the spirits of animals and men. Man's goings of the Lord, so animals' goings of the Lord. And Christians don't understand this. If you ask a Christian, what does it mean by go not into the way of the Gentiles? No, go in the way of the Gentiles, but don't follow the Gentiles, but teach it. No, it doesn't say that. Go not into the way of the Gentiles means this word is not for the Gentiles, for other nations. This is just for the Israelites. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, and go not to Samaria. Now, did not the Lord say go to Samaria? Later, wasn't it not told of them to go to Samaria? That's in Acts 1. because it was Israelites living in Samaria along with the heathens. But the heathens had that land. Go back to St. John chapter 4, the woman at the well. You got all these other Israelite groups. You know what they teach? The woman at the well was an Israelite. No, she was not an Israelite. Yahushua cursed her out. You got to read it with passion. He didn't talk. He cursed her out. He said, "Bitch, you ain't a Jew. What the fuck you lying for? You ain't a Jew. You ain't one of us. The hour's gonna come. You think you in this land, right? In our land. The hour's gonna come when you're gonna be pushed out of there, and the real worshipers is gonna come in." The woman was a Greek, a Syrophoenician by nation. You got Israelite camps saying that she was she was not of another nation. She was an Israelite in a Gentile state of mind whose eyes were opened up to the fact that this is the Messiah, the King of David. Anyway, so Matthew 10, 5 and 6, go not into the way of the Gentiles. Don't teach the Gentiles, the other nations. And any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, because you had people in Samaria saying that they were Israelites. No, our line goes back to Jacob. We're Israel. No, you're not Israelites. But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. What are they lost? Lost to what? The fact that they are the Israelites, and the fact that they have to know that the Messiah came, because it was all about, Moses said that in Deuteronomy 18:15, if I'm not mistaken. Most High is going to send a man likened unto me, likened unto Moses among your brethren. Listen to this man. And Yahushua explained what Moses said was talking about me. Anyway, let's come on back. So Babylon right here is talking about a geographical location in the Levant, in the area of the Levant. This is all Neo-Babylon. Sometimes it's good to do a word search. Let's go to the next group. Okay, right here it mentions Ethiopia. The word there should be Cush. Let's see if I'm correct. Ask a Christian, who are the original Ethiopians? Where they come from? Both. If it's a scholar, they'll answer it correctly. See, when you're debating, going back and forth with a Christian, it's a word fight. So sometimes you got to use feints. You know, you hit with one punch to make them look one way, and then you hit them with another punch. So that's what we do. As we're dealing with the scripture, we ask them about, well, what does this mean? What is that? While we're going to the particular verse, we might go up 3 verses above that and say, what does this mean? And they know the actual verse, but they won't necessarily know the verses, 2 verses above that verse. Like I asked when Vocab and them rolled up, the dude that has the page, why do you mean? Or something like that. The Jake dude. And I asked him what nationality was Paul. And he said, you tell me. And when he said, you tell me, I said, you don't know the nationality of Paul. I said, I'm asking you a simple question. What nationality was the Apostle Paul? And he went into this whole rant. You know, blah, 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 blah. Basically, I said, you don't know the nationality. Instead of you saying, I'm not sure, I forgot. That's that pride, that Christian pride. Let me see something here. Where did I say I was going to go? Okay, I will make mention of Rahab and Babylon to them. Okay, I said Ethiopia. I wanted to look up the word Ethiopia. And what's the word there? Kawash or Kush. Ethiopia came. This is from what book? Ethiopia. Okay, this is in the Psalms. This is before the Greeks came on the scene. So you know when the psalmist a psalm of songs for the sons of Korah. So you know the original psalm, the word Ethiopia was not there. Let me click on this. This is almost a back to the basics. Kush or Kawash. I got to go further into, they say Kush means black. I got to do a little bit more research on that. Ethiopia, Kush. Okay, the son of Ham, grandson of Noah, and the progenitor of the southernmost people located in Africa. Yeah, the Kush is southeast of Egypt. See, Christians don't do this. The people descended from Cush. So when did Ethiopia, the origins of the word Ethiopia? Let's go ahead and look it up. The origins of the word Ethiopia. The word Ethiopia comes from Greek, meaning burnt face. From etho, to burn, and ops, face. Etho, ops, Ethiopia, burnt face, because they were dark. They encountered dark people. A term ancient Greeks used for dark-skinned people south of Egypt or southeast of Egypt or South Egypt. Initially a generally geographic term, while Europeans adopted this Greek name, Ethiopia, face burnt face. Tradition links it to a legendary king, Aethiops, a descendant of Cush, suggesting an indigenous origin that later merged with Greek designation for the powerful Aksumite kingdom. See, this is something that Christians don't do. Let's come on back. Okay, now right here, you can even say that this is twofold. It represents back then, they were captive under the Babylonians, but it also represents the new Babylon, old daughter of Babylon. Not Babylon, but old daughter of Babylon. That's America, who ought to be destroyed Let me do this. Let me open this up. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. That took place during the time of the Neo-Babylonian Empire. That's in Obadiah 1. You can start from 7, but the key point is in the 10th verse. It reads down to the 18th verse where we're going to utterly destroy them. O daughter of Babylon. There's no such, when it says, O daughter of Babylon, we know it's not talking about the Neo-Babylonian Empire. Because it would have said it right here. Give me a second. By the rivers of Babylon. That's talking about the Neo-Babylonian Empire. When it says, O daughter of Babylon, matter of fact, let me do this. Daughter of Babylon. Okay, 25 times. Now, if you notice, daughter of Babylon, right? This right here is talking about America. The go-to scripture that shows you that America's Babylon, this scripture right here. Psalms 137:8, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. That's America. That's the U.S. Isaiah 47:1. That's the U.S. America. The woman that sat upon the scarlet-colored beast. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. They're sitting in the dust right now. Sit on the ground. There is no throne. Your kingdom's done. You're not going to make this place great. O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. That's Revelation 18. Told you how tender and delicate they were in Revelation 18. Jeremiah 50, verse 42. They shall hold a bow and lance. We know that's talking about the missile system. They are cruel. Who are the ones that are the cruel ones? They're starting with the Russians and any nation that points their long-range missiles at America and ultimately shoots it, which will be the NATO nations. Nero made a stupid move, but he did what the Most High wanted him to do. Man's goings of the Lord. And talking about taking Greenland. So now you have France that's backing up Denmark, France, Sweden, and Germany backing up Greenland. Got 4 nations among the NATO EU alliance that are backing up. So basically they're coming against Babylon. So now we fully understand, well, we always understood it, but we fully understand what can happen, what a line of events would happen to make the NATO and the EU alliances come against America. Well, this could be it. It can simmer down, but it's not gonna happen. They're not gonna next week. Oh, fuck it, we're gonna shoot. Nope. Something's gonna happen where they're gonna sit down because guess what? The mark of the beast has to come, the chip, and that's what these other Israelite groups don't understand. They're getting all excited. Well, that's the NATO. And they're gonna. We might be out of here in 2 months. No, the chips got to come first. That's a major prophecy. We keep saying that. And if you people get caught out there, you can't tell the Most High, oh, if you'd have told me, if you'd have sent a prophet, the rich man and Lazarus, did not he tell in the spiritual realm, did not he tell the Most High to send, or ask Abraham to send a spirit to tell his 5 brothers? Well, guess what? And then, what did Abraham said? You have, I believe he said, exact words was, you have Moses and the prophet, meaning Moses represent the law and the prophets. So you had the book. You can't say you didn't know. Your brothers can't say they didn't know. And that applies to Esau. Esau know, the elite of Esau know, they know the script. They know what they're doing. They know that they're the Edomites. They know that we're the Israelites. You bird-brained Negroes, are you guys the Israelites? You know when you believe it? When the white man says it. If you got a bunch of scholars, we have to tell the truth. You Negroes are the tribe of Judah, and bring out the 12 tribe sign. That's when the nigga gonna see it. When we say it, they don't see it. So what I say to them? Kick rocks. Take a long walk off a damn building. Play in traffic with your kids. Well, I ain't saying your kids. I'm saying you. Play in traffic. Anyway, Jeremiah 50, verse 42. They shall hold a bow in the lance. They are cruel and will not show mercy. That's also in Isaiah 13. The Medes. The Medes represent the Russians. Their voice shall roar like the sea. That's the missiles. You're going to hear loud. Part of the destruction is you're going to see, it's going to be a bright sunny day. Everything's going to go dark. Then you're going to see fire in the skies, and you're going to hear this noise, and all of a sudden, fire all over the place. In Babylon. That bitch, that harlot's going to be set on fire. And that's how you destroy a harlot. You don't hang them on a tree. You don't hang them on a noose. You don't stone them. You don't chop their head off. You burn them with fire. That's the law. If a priest have a daughter that plays a harlot, you're supposed to burn her with fire. That's what the scriptures say. And they shall ride upon horses. Those are the missiles. Everyone put in array. The missiles are going to be put in array like a man to the battle. Like a man to the battle. They're not men. They're missiles against the old daughter Babylon. As a matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? Let me do this. Let me do this. I can really stop. I don't got to go no more. I basically showed you there's a difference. Let's see what the chat says. The chat helps us most of the time. Most of the time. Jeremiah described. And I'm going to say this in the spirit. All you men and all you women that came into Israel and the truth, and you turned your back and you went back into the world and stopped doing this work, you're going to get caught up in this. You're black Edomites. You're black Edomites. Why? Because you're going to suffer the punishment that Edom is supposed to suffer and the other nations. So to the Most High, you just an Edomite. Or Cushite, or Moabite. You ain't nothing but a Moabite with an afro. You're an Edomite with an afro and dark skin. You're a tear. You're a spiritual tear. All you guys that sold out, if you're still alive, you're gonna take that chip and you're gonna swim in, you're gonna backstroke in that fire. Any of you fucking agents that are in the camps, you're gonna take the chip and you're gonna backstroke in the fire, and your family gonna backstroke in the fire too. When you backstroke in that fire, think of that song "Feel the Fire" by Stephanie Mills, and then, or if you prefer, think about the one that Peabo Bryson did, "Feel the Fire," gospel song, and that fire is gonna be when the missiles hit. Great songs, by the way, both. Well, I don't know who did it first. I think Peabo Bryson did it first, and she did her rendition of the song. Both great songs. They're supposed to be gospel songs. Text summary: Jeremiah describes the invading army that is cruel, malicious. They got it wrong. Loud like the roaring sea, mounted on horses, and fully prepared for battle against Babylon, the daughter of Babylon. They don't know what they're talking about. Check went off. So I don't even got to read this. They don't know that the Medes are Russia, are the Russians. And I explained that before. Give me a second. Oh, you almost out this bitch. His descriptive, not endorsing summary of how GMS Great Millstone Israelites typically interpret Jeremiah 50, verse 42 within their theology. Theo meaning God, Latin, ology, Latin, study of God. GMS Israelites interpretation of Jeremiah 50:42, Babylon, modern America. GMS teaches that Babylon in Jeremiah 50 is not ancient Babylon only, but prophetic end times Babylon, which they identify as modern day America, often called Mystery Babylon. So when the verse says they are cruel and will not show mercy, they understand this as referring to future military forces coming against the U.S., which include the lead nation are the Russians. The invading army, foreign nations, often Russia and allies. GMS generally interprets the invading force as Russia, often identified with the Medes. And there's a reason why Isaiah said it came from the Medes. There's a reason why. And I said it in previous videos, along with allied nations, China, Iran, etc., and the NATO nations, NATO and EU alliance. So America's ally is going to come against them. Obadiah 1 verse 7. They ride upon horses. It's not taken literally, but symbolically. Modern military technology, tanks, jets, missiles, organized, overwhelming warfare, cruel and no mercy, nuclear destruction. GMS commonly teaches that this verse points to nuclear warfare, total destruction, not occupation. No compassion, shown because America is seen as guilty of slavery, oppression, war, and global exploitation. That's America in a nutshell. The imagery of roaring like the sea is read as missiles, explosions, global chaos, and fear. Somebody got to do something about the king of Babylon, bro. But he's doing what he's doing because the Most High putting the spirit on him to do what he does. Autoab KO. For judgment for slavery and oppression within GMS theology, America is guilty of enslaving the Israelites, whom they identified primarily as so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American people. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And what's going to happen to Esau? He's going to still be around. For what purpose? To be our slaves along with the other nations. So they're not going to be alone. Jeremiah 50 is read as divine vengeance for centuries of oppression. And you can't just say, Jesus, and all of a sudden you did all this wickedness and all Jesus. Said thus, and I'm going to say this. Every last one of you that fell off, that went back into the world, turned their back on the plow, got kicked out, and didn't keep teaching His word, you're gonna suffer the same fate as Esau. Only thing, you're not gonna suffer slavery. You're not gonna go into slavery, but you will eat a missile. You will eat a warhead. That's guaranteed. Because you didn't fear the Most High, you feared man. The verse is understood as payback, judgment, echoing, and she have done as she hath done do unto her. Jeremiah 50 and 15. End time focus. GMS does not see this prophecy as fulfilled in ancient history. Exactly. Well, Jeremiah saw it that way. Well, Jeremiah wasn't privy to know what this is talking about. All he knew was, he saw Babylon, Neo-Babylon being destroyed, but it wasn't destroyed that way. They teach it is imminent, part of the final judgment before the Messiah's return, one of many prophecies predicting America's violent collapse. It said the apostles and the prophets are going to rejoice in Revelation 18. In short, GMS view, Jeremiah 50 verse 42 is interpreted by GMS as a future prophecy describing the violent, thus by violence, Revelation 18. Merciless, no mercy, Isaiah 13, destruction of America or Babylon by foreign missiles, primarily Russia and its allies, which includes NATO and the EU that possess missiles, through modern warfare, especially nuclear weapons, as divine judgment for oppression and global wickedness. So anyway, let's come on back. O daughter Babylon, Jeremiah 51 verse 33, for thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the Most High Israel, the daughter of Babylon is like a threshing floor. It is time to thresh her, yet a little while, and the time of her harvest shall come. Her harvest is the destruction. Zechariah 2 verse 7. Deliver thyself, O Zion, the elect of Israel, that dwell with the daughter of Babylon. So you have certain Yah Israelite groups that say, oh, you got to get out of here and go to Africa. No, the elect is going to be here. We got to be here to prophesy the downfall in this country. Micah 4 and 10. Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, the Israelites, starting with the elect, like a woman in travail. For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field. The city is our land. The field. A lot of us escaped to Africa. That's why the slave ships picked us up, took us against our wills from West Africa. And thou shalt go even to Babylon, which is America. There shalt thou be delivered. Where we're going to be, the deliverance is coming from where? Babylon, not Africa. So Nate going and making these trips to Africa, which is not going to pan out. You have no business being in Africa. You have no business being in Venezuela. There Yahweh shall redeem or buy thee back thee from the hand of thine enemies. Who's the enemy? Esau, the Edomites. They have control over the whole planet. Anyway, you can read the rest of these. You know what? Let me do this. I don't want to make this too long. Do this one more time. Here we go. Isaiah 13:1, the burden of Babylon. We know that that's talking about the U.S., America. 13:19, in Babylon, the glory of the kingdom, the beauty of the Chaldeans' excellence shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Go to Genesis 19. It said from a distance, Abraham saw the fire, the smoke come up from Sodom and Gomorrah, the two major cities. There's 5 altogether. Admah, Zoan, and Zeboim, if I'm saying it right. But the 2 major cities were Sodom and Gomorrah. So Neo-Babylon didn't go down by fire. They got their throats slit. They slit throats. It was a surgical attack because the king of Babylon and his lords were drunk. And there was no buildings knocked down. The Babylonian citizens didn't get hurt. And pretty much like what the U.S. did with Venezuela. That's called a surgical strike. Isaiah 14:4, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. Who's the king of Babylon currently? Nero. And say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. You can see that this city is ceasing. These Edomites are feeling it, man. Oh, I got 2 jobs and my wife got a job and we live in a fucking car and they're getting ready to take our car. Because we can't register it because we don't got an address. And now it's a crime to be homeless. Being homeless is a circumstance, not a crime. So that's the cruelty of this country. But they're showing the cruelty to you Edomites. They shot the woman in the face, allegedly, because we don't know if that was a psyop or not. See, now right here, this is talking about Neo-Babylon. It's talking about Babylon the Great. Go ye forth of Babylon, flee ye from the Chaldeans. Look at that. And you got the New Testament as well. New Testament in Revelation. Let me jump the gun on that. Yeah, these churches, these niggas in the churches getting found out. The truth about Donnie McClurkin's homosexual abuse case. Yeah, because these pastors and ministers, a lot of them, especially Jake, they and the boys. Most I ain't dealing with them devils, them niggas. So we're familiar with these. Babylon is falling, America. Nation fell, and great Babylon came in remembrance. There we go, Revelation 18. And he cried with a mighty voice, with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, has become the habitation of devils. That's when it becomes a desert. I mean, this is basic stuff. Standing afar off for the fear of the torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, America, Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour as thy judgment come. That's through the missiles. Only thing that can take out a 5,000 square miles are missiles, warheads. And the mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. It's not going to come back up. Once this devil goes down, he's done. He's going into slavery, then he's going to get burnt up. Now, none of these churches, especially the black church, they don't even touch the book of Revelation. They don't go into the Apocrypha. They don't go into prophecy. What black church do you know go into prophecy? And if they do, if you have a certain pastor or reverend that go into these prophecies, they're watching us. Anyway, shalom, on to the next shalom.